What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the Move OTX channel. Hope you guys are having a great early winter 2024. Holiday season is upon us, and I know I sure am having a great season, just like every summer and fall. It just flies by in the blink of an eye, and I've been spending most of my time on the bike, doing gravel trails around the bay and up in the oak forests. I know my channel is not really a cycling content channel, but yeah, I enjoy the outdoors on my bike as much as on foot. So we are here once again at my favorite trail series, Arastadero Preserve, and once again it's always very crowded here. So you're seeing me street park along Arastadero Road, and they do allow street parking, street overflow parking, but you cannot park on the paved roadway because you block cycling traffic and you force cyclists and runners out into the flow of street traffic. So as long as you street park in designated areas, keep your car off the pavement, you are a-okay. So here we are at Arastadero Preserve. The main preserve parking is along the road that way. We are entering here through this side entrance into the trails, and this is my favorite place to park actually, because the main parking is always so crowded. I've seen cars wait there for half an hour or so. So I'm still on the GoPro Hero 11 for this season. I don't really see any reason to change that. I've got you guys mounted up on my left hand wrist strap. I might swap hands if it's more comfortable to my right side. So we'll see how that goes. If that gets uncomfortable or whatever, I'll swap hands and live with it. So a lot of people out and about on the trails today. We're supposed to get a rainstorm in tomorrow, so it's a gorgeous Saturday midday right now. A lot of families with kids and dogs on leashes out enjoying the trails today. So this is my first trail hike in months, to be honest. So I'm hiking a familiar route, and I'm going to try and maintain my usual 3.2 mile per hour pace. I'm not sure if I actually can. So quick look at the map. Here's where we are. We are parked right along here, Arastadero Road. And we came in through the side gate, and we're hiking up this way into these trails here, and we'll do a loop and come back down and around. Maybe, we'll see. I'm gonna play it by ear here. So I mentioned earlier I like to do familiar trails just so I can gauge my strength and conditioning. So I'll probably tempted to do a through hike and hop on into Foothills Park, hang out there for a bit. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. So this here is my little warm up trail. It's a little bit of an uphill climb through these oaks, so I'll do this for sure. Certainly I'm going to be huffing and puffing along this trail, maybe out of breath here and there. So as always, you can gauge the incline by my breathing. So we'll see how that goes. So one thing's different this season is I've ditched the backpack. So I've always had a lightweight string pack, and I'm now switching to a lumbar pack. I've got my water, my trail snacks in there, first aid kit, and my keys, cell phone. So I'm trying that this year, trying to take some of the load up off my back and put it down around my hip area, so that way I don't strain my back quite as much. Although it's not really that heavy, to be quite honest. 32 ounces of water is really the heaviest thing in there. And I just use an old plastic Gatorade bottle. Repurpose that rather than throwing it out or throwing it into the recycle bin. One thing's for sure, this trail is much more worn into after the summer. There used to be patches of green going along this trail, right in between, but nope, not anymore. A lot of foot traffic, mountain bike tires as well, up and down this trail. Just the beautiful rolling hills of Arastadero Preserve. Still brown, not green yet from the rains, so that will come shortly, as I mentioned earlier. Curious to see what the lake water levels look like. I expect them to be low, as they always are late summer, early fall. So we have had maybe an occasional sprinkle here or there, but nothing really significant. So looking across that way, you can see Windy Hill. Haven't been up there in a long time. So maybe one of these days soon, I'll take you guys up there. We'll see. We shall see. Oh yeah, bone dry out here, for sure. So the nice thing about late fall, early winter is you avoid the meat bees. Meat bees I know as vital as they are to the food chain out here, they are annoying. But unless we stumble onto a nest of them today, they're not going to be an issue. So we're coming up on the end of our little hill crest climb. I call that that's my little warm-up loop. It's a little bit of an elevation gain, but not really. And you kind of come back down onto Arastadero Lake. So we'll check that out. See how far down the water levels are. Arastadero Lake, more like a pond, to be honest. As I was expecting, water levels are pretty low. Still quite a bit of water in there from our last winter rain. So hopefully we'll be filling that up very soon. What we like to see is moderate rainfalls throughout the winter, not drastic atmospheric river monsoon conditions like we had last winter. That was pretty rough. So hopefully things will be a little bit more mild for the next few years. So this here is the overflow creek and basin. Bone dry now, but once this reaches peak capacity, it'll overflow and head back on down. The hill that we just climbed up, so it doesn't look like it, but that muddy, marshy area is about 3 or 4 feet deep. I saw a guy once actually go down in there to retrieve a ball or a toy that his kid had dropped, and he came out of that thing thigh deep in black, soupy, murky mud. Probably the muddiest I've ever seen anybody out on a trail, by far. So we'll continue. We'll go up this way, up the main fire road. And I'll probably put my cell phone into airplane mode because signal starts to drop out here in the next few minutes. So here's that heavily eroded area of the trail from last winter. An oak tree had toppled over and taken out a huge side chunk of this trail, and still remains roped off, or coned off, I guess. And you can see that tree. Oh, parts of it actually slid down into the creek. You'd think they'd clean this up. But oh well, it is what it is. Maybe we'll spot some deer up in these hills. Maybe, maybe not. I don't see any yet. Deer sighting is always one of the highlights of my hikes. Alrighty guys, we're making our way. Last time I was out here was tick season, and all these grasses were overgrown, waist chest high and leaning over onto the trails. And I was keeping an eye out, but not now. Definitely not tick season. If I spot a tick out here, I'd be amazed. And I'm sure there are, but just not right out here along the trails. There's just not enough grass population to stack those odds. But if I see one, I will point it out to you all. But I'm not expecting one for sure. Still smiles, all smiles, not tired yet. So that's the thing about this trail, is it's a good workout, but it's not a lung burner up until you get to the last section of the trail park as you exit out of Arastadero. It gets pretty steep there, but it's really short. So no deer yet. The air is just crazy still. Not a breeze. Listen to that, just nothing. Absolute silence out here. Love it. Not even the hum of honeybee nests overhead in the oaks. Okay, we're coming up here on the smaller pond area, which is really low now. Peak rain season, this pond is all the way up to the trail here, but not today. Down about 5 feet at least. You can barely see the water from here. That's where the bullfrogs lay their eggs, but not now. Hopefully the rainstorms will fill that up too, and we'll get all the beautiful rainwater runoff here along the sides of this trail. So we're also starting at this point the gradual uphill climb up and out of Arastadero Preserve. So you're going to probably hear me huffing and puffing pretty soon. Not yet though. It's not really steep yet. You can see some of the water runoff, erosion here from those rainstorms last year. And that'll probably happen again during the next big storm. They can repave and re-gravel the trail, but eventually it washes away. So amazing how the foliage and the ground terrain changes with the seasons here. During the winter months, this whole area is lush and green. Mushrooms, wild mushrooms abound. None of it's edible, I don't believe, but I wouldn't be the foremost expert on that. You do get a lot of this thistle plant during the spring and early spring times, but now during the summer it's all dried out. And pretty much the only green thing out here is oak, poison oak, and maybe an occasional fern that comes up. A lot of oak varieties out here, for sure. Oleander, there's some oleander there as well. No deer yet, so keep our fingers crossed. We might spot some deer. Got passed up by a faster hiker. Let her go ahead and spook off anything harmful to me or remotely interesting. Toyon berries everywhere up here, year round. More so during the spring, but definitely year round. Not even seeing too much raccoon scat out here. So even the raccoons this time of year are relatively inactive. Hopefully my camera work is doing okay. I still got you guys in the left hand side, which is the shakier, clumsier side. For whatever reason, hopefully the GoPro is stabilizing the image and steadying things out enough. So I apologize about the fisheye optic. That's one thing I need to make some adjustments with, but I like the really wide field of view for me personally. So if you guys don't like it, surf on over to another channel. Do us all a favor. I'll apologize in advance, but find another channel to watch with better field cinematography. For me, I do what I can. Still smiles. Not too tired yet. Just beautiful up here. So this is the steep part of our trek. The huffy and puffy climb up and out of Arastadero. I'm sure my camera doesn't do the incline justice, but it's not very far. It's about a quarter-mile lung burner up and out of the Creek Gorge. Alrighty guys, we're making it. There is the little hilltop climb up and out of Arastadero. So like I said, it's not too far of an uphill segment. Barely, maybe 2/10 of a mile, quarter mile most. It's actually usually kind of breezy up here, but nope, not today. That other hiker is coming back this way. So she's making the U-turn, and I'm gonna head on out. And we're gonna continue on into Foothills Park. and we'll go up to the Vista Hill. Oh, gotta watch my step. Kind of slippery. Gotta smooth out my footsteps. Don't want to bound and bounce on my declines. That's how you slip and fall. Smooth, steady, heel toe, foot roll. Okay, now we are now entering Foothills Nature Preserve, or old school, I like to call it Foothills Park. So I'll take you guys up the main paved road. There is a oak forest trail that goes up that way as well, and you can kind of take that way too, but every now and then I like to go this way as well. Enjoy the firm, steady footing provided by mankind. No deer. Oh dear, no deer. That's to be expected this time of year. But still, can always hope for a deer sighting. Hear the crows chirping up in the trees overhead, but that's pretty much it. More toyon berries all up and down these hills. And one thing's for sure, in the winter seasons, there just aren't that many people out on the trails, which is great for me. I got the trails all to myself. Oh yeah, that's how I like it. So if you are limited-bodied, this road is accessible by car, by vehicle. You have to pay a $6 day-use vehicle entry fee, and you can enjoy all these sights from the convenience of your motorized carriage. But if you're like me, you prefer to go about it the old-fashioned way, which is how we roll on my channel. Just a gorgeous view looking back down into the Foothills Park area. But we're heading up this way to the Vista Hill. Alrighty guys, we're coming up over the crest here of the roadway, and you can just barely make out the top of Black Mountain that way. Radio towers, at least I think that's what that is. It's hard to tell. There's two identical looking radio tower hilltops in that area, so that might actually be the closer of the two. But coming up over the crest of this hill, there's always just a wonderful breeze up here, like natural air conditioning. Huffing and puffing up those hills, coming out this way, you get this natural Bay Area AC. Absolutely love it. It's rejuvenating, it's energizing. Every trail you go on around the bay, that's what you get when you come out into a clearing or a hilltop, and certainly around the lower elevations. Okay. Yes, sirree, we've made it to the hilltop loop. Whew. Oh yeah. Some hikers up ahead this way. And there is the lovely view looking across at Windy Hill, Portola Valley down below. So one of these days soon I'll have to do that hike again. Haven't done it in quite a while. I like to hike up the bare fire road, barren hill patch area, hilltop area, and trek down through the redwoods and come back down through the redwoods and the oaks when I do that hike. But most people don't like it that way. Most people go the other way around. They hike up the hill through the redwoods and the oaks. Okay, so here we are, guys. Oh yeah. Feel that breeze. I apologize for the wind noise if you hear that. It's actually not too breezy at all right now, but just a little bit really refreshes the hiker on the trails. Woo! One thing's for sure, it's lumbar pack. Absolute thumbs up. It takes all that weight and all that loading off my upper body and my lower back and puts it down over my hips. I know fanny packs, as they are objectionably known as, are not that popular, but I can absolutely say for sure out here on the trails, this, despite the lack of style points, is an absolute win-win. And the other thing is I'm not sweating and soaking wet in my upper body. That's the huge thing. Now here in the Bay Area, that's not that big of a deal, but in other climates that are not so pleasant, the most dangerous thing is moisture and perspiration and soaking your clothing layers. More toyon berries. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Crows chirping overhead. Alrighty, y'all, here we are at the hilltop overlook. Oh yeah. That is the view looking north, right there. So San Francisco Bay is kind of at a skewed angle, so it doesn't actually rest north and south. So looking north-south line is that away. And looking straight across is Mount Diablo in Walnut Creek, right that away. Looking down into Palo Alto, Arastadero Preserve, which we hiked through. Ooh yeah. Stanford Dish, Stanford University down that way. And this is usually where I can spot coyotes. If I ever do, they're always in this area along in here. But I don't see any right now. What a stunning view. You can actually see Page Mill Road. Oops, my hand's covering it. Page Mill Road is right down there. Mountain View, Shoreline Amphitheater down that way, Moffett Airfield. I don't think I've ever actually shown you guys the actual hilltop little summit area, so we'll do that here. right now, I've spent many a weekend afternoon up here enjoying a peanut butter and honey sandwich or granola bar up in this area. Oh, they redid all the fence posts and stuff since last time I was here. So these little pillar things are little lookout views. This is the view into downtown San Jose, if you can see it. I don't know if you guys can actually see it. Oh, it's blocked by the hillside. How about that? This one is to Mount Hamilton. Oh, I don't think you guys can see it. At any rate. Oh, compass calibration check. North is that way. And yes, we're spot on. My Sunto clipper is spot on for that. Some more lookout viewing posts. Actually getting kind of hungry. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We're gonna come down off this hillside and go to the interpretive center. So we'll trek down off this hilltop. Alrighty, come down on Chamis Trail and we'll go down towards the lake. I always like it over there. It's always really, really pretty any time of year. And yes, mountain lion habitat throughout. So if you can, make a lot of noise out on these trails. Step heavily, hiccup, burp, fart, whatever you need to do to make yourself seem larger than life out here. And I finally spotted a lizard. Did you guys see that? Very, very few times do I come out on these hills and not spot lizards out on the trail. So yeah, we'll go down towards the lake. Hang a left up here. And I'll take you guys on the roundabout way towards the interpretive center. So speaking of which, that is mountain lion scat right there. You can tell because there are no seed pods or plant foliage in it. It's all basically dark colored and fur remnants. And here's some more mountain lion scat. You can tell because it's drying out and it's very fluffy, basically fur fibers from rodents and small game that they hunt. So, not to put the scare into anybody, yes, this is mountain lion territory, but they are very skittish. They are looking to run away from you more than you are running away from it, or as much at least. One time they can become aggressive is if you find yourself between a parent and its cubs. So again, try to make a whole lot of noise out here if you can. Speaking of which, I got some kids coming up behind me on the trail, so I may have to pause the video. We shall see as we make it through the oak forest. Oh yeah. Some game trails going up that way. Surely deer as they roam around these trails. Deer, unlike many animals out here, will blaze their own trails. They will follow the path of greater resistance, and they will generally not follow main trails. And they're well adept to do that up and down these hillsides. Extremely nimble, extremely well balanced. Out on these trails, despite how treacherous and impassable a lot of these areas are for humans. For a deer, it's a piece of cake. Okay, yes sirree, made it out here to the lake. And that's the main road down into the interpretive center. So I'll take you guys over there real quick. But for now, we're going to hang out here around the lake area. Absolutely stunning. One of the most beautiful places in all of Palo Alto. Welcome to the main lake at Foothills Preserve, or Foothills Park. Water is really clear right now. The algae have not bloomed out yet. So we're going to continue our trek here around the lake, and we're going to veer off the lake and head on over to the interpretive center and the main center of the park. Here's the backside of the lake. Still relatively full. Not totally dried out at all. That is Sunfish Island out there with more toyon berries. And you can see the new bridge that they rebuilt on that far side there. So we will veer off to the right and head on this way towards the interpretive center. And we're coming back down onto the main road here. That is once again accessible by vehicle with a $6 park entrance. Once again in the lovely, beautiful oak forests. And I wish you guys had aroma vision or smell vision or whatever. There's just something about the aroma of the oak forest. I don't know if that's poison oak or just what causes that smell, but the oak forests, especially in the winter, just have that sweet, fragrant aroma. Kind of like eucalyptus groves, but not that strong. There's just something to it, this particular variety of oak. Alrighty guys, we're continuing our trek here along into the main grassy meadow area, and we're gonna head on into the interpretive center up here, kick back, chill out, soak in some reading materials for sure, We've got a great library in here. Actually, not a library, that's the wrong choice of words, but a great collection of books and reference materials here. Everything regarding the local wildlife, foliage identification, birds, that kind of thing. So we'll definitely check into some of that. And once again, I don't see any deer out in this field. Usually if I spot some deer, they'll be out here roaming and grazing about in this field area. So I think I'm gonna wrap things up here today, guys, on our day hike through Arastadero Preserve and on into Foothills Preserve. So once again, everybody, thanks for joining me here today. Hope you guys had as much fun on this trek as I know I sure did. Please feel free to post comments and questions down below, and I'll answer them just as soon as I can. And as always, everyone, remember to stay safe and enjoy the outdoors. I'll catch you all on the next one.